For Chelsea, only 1 goal. He has had 1 yellow card as well. So 1 goal, 1 yellow card for Garnacho. It's not worked, and it's making it all make sense why Manchester United got rid of him.
Rashford face to face with Mikalenko. Dalot joining in from fullback. Dalot for Garnacho! Oh wow! Oh wow! That is one of the great goals in front of a stunned Gladys.
That goal made Alejandro Garnacho look like the future of Manchester United. But just a few months later, the same player was being called overrated, selfish, and undisciplined. So what changed? And why did one man see this coming long before anyone else? Because when Ronaldo left Manchester United, he made a warning about the club and about the mentality of the players inside it, and Alejandro Garnacho is the perfect example of everything. This is not a story about a player who was bad. This is a story about a player who was rewarded for the best goal of the year. It all starts in 2022. Garnacho literally forces his way into the United first team purely because he was that good. Ralf Rangnick gave him his first minutes, and the potential was seen in him from the start. Unpredictable raw speed on the left wing. Exactly the type of player that modern football is increasingly missing. The first problems appeared immediately when Ten Hag took over the club. He isolated Garnacho, and he was right to do so. Garnacho had repeatedly arrived late to summer pre-season training because of that. He was left without a single minute in the friendly matches. As soon as the lesson was learned, Ten Hag let him on the pitch. His first goal was every teenager's dream by his idol. That is when his humbler side was visible. Garnacho asked Ronaldo to perform his celebration. Ten Hag started using him more and more as a super sub. The turning point happened. Garnacho enters from the bench at 1-1 and scores the winning goal in the 93rd minute. That was when Ten Hag realized Garnacho is no longer just a talent. He is a match winner. He finished his first full season with only 5 goals. It doesn't seem impressive for an attacker, but out of those 3 were in the Premier League. Against Fulham in the 93rd minute, against Leeds in the 85th minute, against Wolves in the 94th minute. You can notice these goals came under extreme pressure in the final minutes deciding the matches. And then came November 2023. Against Everton at Goodison Park, the ball drops, Garnacho turns and executes a bicycle kick. That is seen once in a decade. The FIFA PUSKAS award for 2024. There was the trap.
This is the biggest mistakes of the players. They think they know everything and they don't learn more.
Ronaldo wins his first Ballon d'Or at Old Trafford, the ultimate peak for a football player, much more valuable than the PUSKAS award. Moreover, he was the first player to win the PUSKAS award. Immediately after the Ballon d'Or, Ruben Amorim landed at Old Trafford, bringing the system from Sporting, where players must adapt without work ethic. And through disobedience, Garnacho slowly began to feel the bench. By December 2024, and the match against Pleasen is much more important. Garnacho is waiting to enter the game, and Amorim gives him instructions, and Garnacho just turned around. Because of such disrespect, he was kicked out of the team and gave him a friendly piece of advice. Stop thinking only about yourself.
You see the promise in the squad. Like, you look at their squad now, you look at Garnacho.
They don't depend only of the talents. It's more than that.
Ronaldo's words here become clearer than ever. When the Europa League final arrived, Amorim brings him on in the 71st minute. Instead of Mason Mount, it was one of the most important matches in the club's modern era for United, and they lost conference after the game. Garnacho says, "I played every game and today I get 20 minutes."
Focus now will be on how he responds and whether this affects his relationship with the
Amorim
manager.
did not cross him out of the team. Discreetly in the office instead, at a team meeting in front of the entire dressing room, he told him directly, "You better pray you find a club that will sign you."
Manager Ruben Amorim made a surprise decision before the match. Instead of starting Garnacho on the left wing, he chose to go with Mason Mount. That move raised eyebrows.
United have good players, but they don't have the mind.
At the very end of the transfer window, he manages to sign for Chelsea for $45 million. Everyone thought this would be a reset. Enzo Maresca explained how Garnacho arrived at Stamford Bridge in poor form after isolation in Manchester, which was somewhat of an excuse for his weak start. At Chelsea, Maresca believed in him, even though he had competition on the left wing. Any coach would have pushed him to the forefront, but Maresca more often chose Garnacho. He gave him opportunities and time to show himself. By January 1st, 2026, when Moraleska got fired due to poor results, Garnacho had played 17 games and scored only 1 goal. He didn't use the departure from a Morum's cage to prove United wrong. By Liam Rosenior.
I feel he's in a good place. Here at Ali's in a great place.
A coach who demands iron discipline. What is more important under the new coach? Garnacho barely exists. He is nailed to the bench. Rosenior explained that he is testing him this way. He left him on the bench to see if his head will drop again or if he will start training. And even if he manages to get his career back on track, one thing remains clear with his ego. He tarnished his own reputation. He got a kicking out of the club. That gave him his first minute. His first career goal came with an assist from his idol, an idol whom he completely misunderstood. Ronaldo never said Garnacho's name, but he didn't have to, because everything Ronaldo ever told young players describes exactly what happened to Garnacho. Garnacho became the greatest proof that Ronaldo was right.